Hello and welcome to Somerville Highlander Baseball on Somerville Ed TV. I'm Todd Harmon, and we are coming to you from Trum Field, where the Highlanders will be taking on the Crimson Tide of Everett today. The Highlanders come in with a record of 2-2. They have losses to Winthrop as well as Lynn Classical in the GBL, and they have wins over Revere as well as a win earlier this year against Salem Academy. So 2-2 is the record for the Highlanders. Everett comes in with a record of 0-2. They've lost to Revere, and I believe their other losses to Quincy so far this year. On the mound today for the Highlanders is O'Sullivan. I believe it's his first start of the year. I do not have his numbers if it is not from his previous starts. Highlanders have some young talent showing what they can do so far this season, coming off of a very strong victory 2 days ago against Revere as they won 5-1. Christian Oliveira, who we'll get the opportunity to see hitting out of the cleanup spot today. He's out at the shortstop position, number 8. He had 12 strikeouts in a complete game in that 5-1 victory. So an excellent job by Oliveira. I'm also in talking to Matt O'Donnell, the head coach for the Highlanders. O'Donovan, their leadoff batter, having an excellent season so far, playing second base, number 22 out there. And Ian Bourne playing right field, number 9. Actually, he's number 23, I'm sorry. He's in the number 9 position, I should say, in right field. Ian has also had a great early portion of the season as he went 5 for 8 with 4 RBIs against Winthrop, so he is definitely swinging a hot bat. Highlanders coming in off that victory against Revere. As we have the head coaches over there talking to the umpires. Not sure what they were talking about. They were looking down the left field line, but they're slowing things down a little bit. As Anel, the catcher, had already gone down to second base, but now it looks like we're getting more warm-up tosses in. Looks like we're going over the ground rules. Basically, Coach O'Donnell just working over the ground rules of the different areas of the field. What's out of bounds, what isn't. Great opportunity here to have baseball. This is a Greater Boston League schedule coming up for the Highlanders. Of course, a weird, wacky, wild year of sports, not to mention everything else, but it's a great opportunity for these youngsters to get out here, get to play the game of baseball. Looks like we're about ready to get some ball going here. Leading off for Everett, by the way, Longmore will lead off. He's their catcher. Turilli batting second. He's their second baseman. And Brandon Gibbs is their center fielder. He will be batting third. And we will get underway here as Longmore settles in. Got the ground rules down, ready to go. We're going to have some baseball here. It's a beautiful day. Had rain overnight. Cooled it off a little bit. Got a breeze blowing in from the outfield. And we are ready for baseball here at Trum Field. It's the first delivery from O'Sullivan. Fastball low, swung on and missed for strike 1. Second offering. Looks like he changed it up a little bit there. Left it up high for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count to Longmore. That one's up high and inside for ball 2. O'Sullivan has a fastball, likes to work a curveball as well as a change out there. Definitely seen the fastball. There's that fastball again, just outside. It's going to be ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike right now, the count to Longmore. Fastball, that one's hit sharply. Oliveira fields it at short, fires it over to first. And that is the first out of the game on the 6-3 putout. Bring up Turilli now. Second baseman for the Crimson Tide. First delivery is a fastball, catches the outside corner for strike one. Kind of a heavy fastball that O'Sullivan's got out there, pops that mitt really nicely. There's a fastball again, swung on, fouled back for strike two. No balls, 2 strikes, now the count to Turilli. That's a high one for ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes, now the count. He changes them up right there. Beautiful changeup for the strike out. Took a little bit off of that one. Got him out well ahead of it. So being up Brandon Gibbs. Gibbs, a center fielder for the Crimson Tide. O'Sullivan looking nice so far. Took a little bit off it once again. Can you see that changeup? Could have been the curve. I really couldn't see from this angle. No balls, 1 strike right now, the count to Gibbs. And that's a fastball, catches the outside corner for strike 2. Good location right there by O'Sullivan. Looking for the 1-2-3 inning here. He's got an 0-2 count. And that's swung on a miss, the high cheese for the second strikeout of the inning. And that will do it for the Crimson Tide as they go down 1-2-3. O'Sullivan, a great job there in that first inning as he gets through the first inning with only 13 pitches. So a great job by O'Sullivan. And we see what the Highlanders can do as we move to the bottom half of the first. Highlanders leading in this one, or tied in this one 0-0 as they are yet to come to bat. Trying to give them some runs before they even have them. Marshall is on the mound for the Crimson Tide, number 8. There's a lefty out there. Unfortunately, no scouting report on him. Just been watching some of his warm-up pitches. Looks like he's got a little curveball action we just saw. Talking to Matt O'Donnell, the head coach for the Highlanders, just about who's been showing up so far early this season. O'Donovan, the leadoff man, second baseman, really setting the table well for them, he says. Ian Bourne, as I pointed out earlier. Oliveira as well, really doing well for the Highlanders, of course. Ian Bourne and Oliveira, both freshmen, both tremendous players out there showing what the future of Highlander baseball could be, as we get the opportunity to see at least Ian Bourne this inning, as he'll be batting third. O'Donovan will lead off, then Annell will be batting second. He's the catcher for the Highlanders, and then Ian Bourne, the right fielder, will be batting third. And then Oliveira will be up if he gets the opportunity in the 4-hole. So O'Donovan settles in. Here's the first delivery from Marshall, the lefty, and that one's hit to second base, rather easily handled there by Velasco as he fires it over to get the first out First pitch swinging there by O'Donovan. Grounds out to second base. That'll bring up a Nell. That one catches the outside corner for strike one. No balls, one strike, the count, one away here. Bottom of the first, scoreless game. There's a curveball lifted up there hanging. That's going to be hit out into left field. Nice single right there for Nell. So he knocks that one out into left field. A good job just being patient on that one. That curveball hung up for him. He was able to drive it into left field nicely. So the Highlanders have something doing here. Nell at first base. Ian Bourne up at the plate. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Marshall's first delivery as the curveball drops in for strike one. Bourne, a dangerous hitter. He's 5 for 8 with 4 RBIs against Winthrop earlier this year. See what he can do here with a man on first. Firing over to first is Marshall. Back easily is Nell. Marshall checks the runner again. Fires it up there. Strike two is Bourne off balance on that swing. That pitch seemed to have him fooled. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away here, bottom of the first. Highlanders have a runner on first. So that's the fastball just outside for ball one. The 1-2 offering from Marshall. Runner is away. Curveball's up high. That's a ball. And Nell is in safe at second base with a stolen base. Nell got a good pitch to run on. That curveball stayed up. Slower velocity towards home plate for the pitcher allowed Nell to get into scoring position. So now Bourne on this 2-2 pitch has a man in scoring position with 1 away. And he rocks this one up the middle. That should score the runner. We'll see what happens. We could have a play at the plate. He fires it from center field, and that is not in time. As Bourne gets the RBI, we're going to give him a single on that one. And he advanced to second on the throw. So Ian Bourne getting the RBI. And the Highlanders are on the board 1-0 as Oliveira steps in with the runner on second now. 1 away here in the bottom of the first. And Oliveira, Bourne gets caught off of second base. A base running error there as the shortstop, Brian Gibbs, able to get that soft liner and flip it over to second base to get the double play. Highlanders get one across there in the bottom of the first inning. We move towards the second with the Highlanders leading 1-0 off of the RBI single by Ian Bourne. About to get underway here in the top half of the second inning. Highlanders leading this one 1-0. Coming up to bat for the Crimson Tide will be Laurie, the first baseman, number 4 hole hitter. Guzman, followed by Brian Gibbs, the shortstop, to face off against O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan with a very nice first inning. Got 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning against the Crimson Tide. See if he can keep that mojo going here as a fastball catches the inside corner to Laurie for strike 1. Second pitch there by Sullivan. A little bit low. Looked like he'd worked on the curve there for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike now. It's a fastball. Chopper to third. Fielded cleanly. High throw to first, and he got the foot down. Nice job there over at first base as Jones was able to get the foot down just in time. Tough throw there as Kevin Clark let that elevate on him a little bit, but a really nice job by Jones as he cleaned that one up, was able to come down with it and touch first base in time. That brings up Guzman. He's a left fielder for the Crimson Tide. Fastball up over the head for ball 1. Sullivan coming off a 13-pitch inning there in the first inning. That's his second ball to Guzman, so 2-0 is the count to Guzman. 1 away here, top half of the second. Highlanders leading 1-0. That fastball's fouled out of play. Didn't hear any windows burst, so that's a good thing. Delivery. Up high, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike, the count to Guzman. That one's fouled back. Brings the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 away here, top half of the second inning. First full count of the day for O'Sullivan. That one's up high and inside for ball 4. First base runner here. It's Guzman down at first base now, brings up Gibbs, Brian Gibbs, shortstop for the Crimson Tide. He caught the soft liner by Oliveira and was able to double off Bourne from second base to end the top half of the first inning. And he'll bunt this one, looking for the sacrifice. It's fielded nicely by O'Sullivan over to Jones. Jones will tag him out as Gibbs sacrifices. So on the 1-3 putout, that'll bring Guzman over to second base into scoring position. 2 away now as Velasco is up. Third baseman for the Crimson Tide. Highlanders leading by 1, tying run at second base. It's a curveball dropping in for strike 1. Catching the outside corner with that heater. No balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Velasco. Possible tying run on second base for the Crimson Tide. 2 away here in the top of the second. O'Sullivan delivers from the stretch. Fastball right by him as he picks up his 3rd strikeout of the game. And that will end the danger for the Crimson Tide as the Highlanders hold on to that 1-0 lead. We will move towards the bottom half of the second inning with Jones, O'Sullivan, and Jared Antonelli coming up for the Highlanders. All right, we have the bottom half of the second inning. Highlanders leading 1-0 as Jones steps in for the Highlanders. That's a fastball for Marshall, catches the outside corner for strike 1. Highlander is able to get 1 run across on an Ian Bourne RBI single in the first inning. So that curveball stays up high. No, it catches the top part of the strike zone against Jones. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Jones. Marshall's fastball is outside for ball 1. Jones made a very nice defensive play on an elevated throw from third base from Clark. He was able to keep his focus, keep his concentration, and get his foot onto the bag. That one's popped up out of play. No Crimson Tide member able to get underneath it. Keeps the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jones had another good defensive play on the bunt as he was off the bag, but with heads up was able to make the tag on the runner. And that one, he changed up speed on him. Struck him out swinging as Jones was well ahead of that one. So Marshall picks up his first strikeout of the game. He will now face off against his pitching nemesis today as O'Sullivan steps in looking to help his own cause. As a fastball catches the outside for strike 1. O'Sullivan pitching very well today, has 3 strikeouts. See how he does in the batter's box here. So that one swung on and missed, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes the count. 1 away here, bottom half of the second. Highlanders leading 1-0. Marshall catches the outside corner for strike 3, called. Marshall picks up his second strikeout of the game. And that'll bring up Jared Antonelli, the left fielder for the Highlanders. Antonelli well ahead of that one. Strike 1. Marshall fires this one in. Antonelli ahead of that one. Looks like he took a little bit off of it for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes now the count to Antonelli. 2 away here. Bottom half of the second inning. Highlanders leading 1-0. Staying alive there is Jared Antonelli as he just barely tips that one.
What's the time code on? 27:26.
Marshall fires this one in. Curveball swung on and missed. Marshall strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3 will go to the top half of the third. The Highlanders leading this one by the score of 1-0. All right, here we go in the top half of the third inning. Number 8 hitter Saya settling in. Squared around to bunt. Strike 1 on that one. O'Sullivan's curveball is in there for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes the count now. Saya, the right fielder for the Crimson Tide. So that one's up high for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count now. Highlanders leading right now 1-0 here in the top of the third inning. Swung on and missed. 4th strikeout of the day for O'Sullivan. Now bring up Marshall, Everett's pitcher today, coming off a half of the inning where he struck out the side. See if he can help his own cause here as O'Sullivan's first pitch is in there. Curveball in there for strike 1. fastball. It's up high. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count. That's a fastball down low, fouled back off the screen. Moves the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes on Marshall. 1 away here, bottom, or I should say top half of the third. Highlanders up 1-0. O'Sullivan deals. Curveball does not drop into the zone. Stays up high for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count. There's a fastball, catches the inside corner for called, strike 3. So Marshall got O'Sullivan on a called strike 3. O'Sullivan gets Marshall right back on a called strike 3. And we'll move around to the top of the lineup as Longmore, I should say, comes up for Everett. He grounded out to shortstop his first time up. That one nicks him on the inside corner, so hit by a pitch. He will go to first. So Longmore now at first base brings up Turilli, I should say. Change up, got him out ahead of it. Strike 1. Oh, 1 the count. Highlanders leading by 1. 2 away here. Runner is running. This one's grounded to Oliveira at short. He fires it over to first, and he will get Turilli on the 6-3 ground out, and that will do it. As the Crimson Tide are turned away scoreless here in the third, we move to the bottom half of the third inning. Coming up to bat for the Highlanders will be Clark, Tejada, then back around to O'Donovan at the top of the lineup as we move to the bottom of the third. Highlander third baseman Kevin Clark leading off here in the bottom of the third. Highlanders leading 1-0. Marshall coming off, striking out the side in the bottom of the second. Starts off with a swinging strike from Clark here as the count goes to 0-1 to start off here in the bottom of the third. Marshall looking very good in the second inning. The fastball's fouled away. Strike 2, no balls, 2 strikes. The count now to Kevin Clark. Wily lefty there. Marshall with the curveball catches the top of the zone, and Kevin Clark goes down with a bat on the shoulder. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Marshall. 2 looking, 2 swinging. They'll bring up Tejada, number 9 hitter, center fielder for the Highlanders. And he puts a charge into this one, the shortstop, fielded nicely by Gibbs on the short hop. Fires it across the diamond for the out. Really nice play there by Gibbs as he was able to play that one off the short hop. Tough play, he made it look easy. That makes it 2 outs here. We'll turn the lineup over and O'Donovan will come back up for the Highlanders. He grounded out to second base his first time up. First pitch swinging, as a matter of fact. O'Donovan lefty out there, lefty-lefty matchup here against Marshall. That curveball is low for ball 1. A pronounced difference in velocity from the fastball to the curveball for Marshall. Highlanders need to show patience out there. That's that fastball. Low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, the count to O'Donovan. 2 away here in the bottom of the third inning. Highlanders leading 1-0. Bases are empty. 2-0 offering is up high, and O'Donovan skies it. Drifting back as the second baseman, and he will make the play as Turilli puts that one away. And that will do it for the Highlanders here in the third inning, so we move to the fourth. The score is 1-0 as the Highlanders lead. And here we go in the top half of the fourth inning. Highlanders leading by 1. O'Sullivan dealing here to the number 2 batter, or I should say number 3 batter, Brandon Gibbs. That was ball 1 as it was high and inside. Gibbs struck out back in the first inning. Fastball inside again for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, the count to Gibbs. But the fastball catches the inside corner for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike now. Highlanders leading on the strength of an Ian Bourne RBI single. Gibbs, the center fielder, made a strong throw home on that play, but no play at the plate. Showed a good arm from center field, though. That is ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike, now the count. Sullivan struggling a bit with the control right here to Gibbs. So that one's a grounder. Chopper. Clark can't handle it yet. He keeps with it. Fires it over to first, but Gibbs is able to leg it out. That was a hot shot over there. I don't know what we're going to officially score that one. I'm going to give him the base hit on that one unofficially. That is our EdTV unofficial scoring. Good job by Clark to stick with it. That could have been easily a double or triple out into the corner. That brings up Laurie now with a man on first. Nobody away here in the top of the fourth. Gibbs will take second and no throw. So the tying run now in scoring position for Everett, and he will be granted third base. Not totally sure why he was granted third base on that one. So the stolen base, and then he's granted third base by the umpire for some infraction. I'm not 100% what it was. That pitch is up high for ball 2. So tying run 90 feet away for Everett. 2-0 is the count to Laurie. O'Sullivan from the stretch fires that one in there for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, now the count. So that one's up high and inside, ball 3. 3-1 now the count. To the lefty Laurie. He grounded out to third back in the second inning. Highlanders leading by 1, but the tying run is at third base as he loses Laurie there with the high changeup. So on the walk, runners on first and third now, nobody away here. Top half of the fourth inning. Highlanders leading 1-0. Guzman coming to the plate. Guzman walked back in the second inning. Advanced to second on a sacrifice bunt and was left there at the end of the inning. That one's elevated and outside for ball 1. O'Sullivan struggling with his control a bit here in this inning. Kicks and delivers is a high chopper. O'Sullivan fields it, checks the runner at third, fires it to second, gets the runner there. Oliveira fires it home, but not in time as Gibbs is able to score. So let's see here. Guzman will be at first base. Laurie is out at second on the fielder's choice, and Gibbs scores on that fielder's choice. So Guzman getting that RBI on the fielder's choice. He now stands at first, one away here. Tie ball game, 1-1. Good job there by O'Sullivan as he looked the runner back but had to make the throw. And Gibbs, very heads up, uses his speed to get the run across. Now Brian Gibbs is up, the shortstop, as that one's high for ball one. Gibbs from the shortstop position has had some tremendous plays as he played a great short hop. Very tough play last inning. Also turned a double play off of Ian Bourne in the first inning to end that first inning. That one's high and inside. He has no at-bats today as he was sacrificed the runner over from first back in the second inning, I should say. That one's in there for strike one. It catches the upper part of the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike, now the count to Gibbs. Guzman is the runner at first for the Crimson Tide. As O'Sullivan's pitch gets by the catcher, it's a wild pitch right by him, and Guzman able to move up on the wild pitch. So 3 balls, 1 strike, now the count to Gibbs. Go-ahead run for the Crimson Tide is in scoring position at second. It is a walk there for Gibbs. And Coach O'Donnell's going to come out, have a little talk with O'Sullivan. As Velasco coming up to the plate for Everett. Conversation done there. One away here, top half of the 4th inning. Tie ball game, 1-1. Crimson Tide able to tie it up here in the top of the 4th. They have runners on first and second. With Velasco at the plate, Velasco struck out his last time at bat. He's 0 for 1. As this one's lifted into center field, settling underneath it and making the play. Out there is Tejada as he fires it back in, preventing any movement by the runners. So that's the second out of the inning. That will bring up Saya. He struck out back in the 3rd inning. He is 0 for 1 on the day. 2 away here, top half of the 4th, tie ball game, 1-1 as Everett's been able to get one across. And the go-ahead run in scoring position is runners on first and second. First pitch there to Saya is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Squares around the bunt. And trying to steal third and taken care of there. As Gibbs tried to take third base there, or I should say Guzman tried to take third base, but he is caught stealing, and that will do it for the Everett Crimson Tide in the top half of the 4th inning, but they're able to force a run across, making it a 1-1 game as the Highlanders will be coming up in the bottom of the 4th with the heart of the order, Anel, Bourne, and Oliveira coming up for the Highlanders. Here we go in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Tie ball game, 1-1 as Anel steps in for the Highlanders. He singled and came around to score back in the 1st inning. Single, stole a base, and then came around and scored. So 1 for 1 with a run scored and a stolen base for Anel on the day. Marshall's second offering here. Ball.
go, 3-0. There we go. Move, start us up now, kid. Just like last time for you.
And that one is just outside. Ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Now the count 2-0. That one's up high, and L will take the base as he walks to lead off this inning. Showed speed last time as he was able to steal second base. Ian Bourne now comes up. Bourne got the RBI signal as he got the 1 run for the Highlanders back in the first. 1 for 1 with that RBI. As he fires it over here towards first. Anel's back. Good job by Laurie as he was able to get that ball falling towards the ground. Ian Bourne, a very dangerous hitter up there, the lefty. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup here. As Marshall fires. That one's in there, catches the bottom part of the zone for strike 1. Tie ball game 1-1. 0-1 pitch to Bourne. That one's low for ball 1. As that one's down in the dirt, Anel will run, and he is taken down as Gibbs was able to dig that one out. A nice job throwing down by the catcher Longmore. So Anel caught stealing, thought he could get away from it as it was in the dirt. Decided to try to take the bag. So base is empty now for Ian Bourne. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count to him. So that one's down in the dirt as well. 3 balls, 1 strike, the count. One away now here, bottom half of the 4th, 1-1. And this one, a charge is put into it, looking for the gap there, and it is off the glove of the left fielder. It gets in behind the scoreboard. Ian Bourne will be around second and slides into third with the triple. As Guzman was not able to corral that one, had it in the glove for just a moment, but it came flying out and rolled all the way back behind the scoreboard. So Bourne 90 feet away from giving the Highlanders the lead. That brings Christian Oliveira up. Oliveira lined out softly to the shortstop, who was able to double Ian Bourne off of second base to end the first inning. Good opportunity here for the Highlanders to retake the lead, tied up 1-1. Infield is in for the Crimson Tide as that one's up high for ball 1. Infield in, looking to prevent Bourne from coming home. 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th. That one's up high for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, the count to Oliveira. Christian, of course, had a great pitching performance last game. 12 strikeout complete game victory, 5-1 over Revere. Looking to do the deed with the bat now. So he lets the ball go by there, high for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes, the count. We'll see if Marshall wants to come towards him. Ian Bourne at third is the go-ahead run, and that fastball is outside for strike 1. Catches that corner. 3 balls, 1 strike, the count now. And that one's up high for ball 4. So Oliveira able to hold off on that high pitch, takes the walk. Runners on the corners now for the Highlanders. Everett's moving the middle of the infield into double play depth as Jones comes to the plate. Jones struck out back in the second inning. Bourne at third, Oliveira at first. One away here, bottom of the fourth, tied up 1-1, and that pitch is low in the dirt for ball one. Oh, it's a line shot into center field. We got a Highlander lead here as Jones put a charge into that one. Nice RBI single there for Jones. Oliveira moves up to second. Bourne comes around to score. Highlanders leading this one now 2-1 as they're going to have a discussion at the mound with Marshall. O'Sullivan, the Highlander pitcher, up at the plate with a great opportunity to give himself some run support. O'Sullivan struck out looking back in the second inning. Highlanders now taking the lead 2-1. One away here, bottom of the fourth. Highlanders leading 2-1. Runners on first and second. Oliveira, relatively fast runner at second base for the Highlanders. O'Sullivan, the pitcher, is up, swings and misses at the first offering. Middle of the infield still at double play depth. Looking to get out of this inning in one swing of the bat. And O'Sullivan pops this one up out of play down the first base line for strike two. No balls, 2 strikes, the count now to O'Sullivan. Looking to help his own cause. As that one's down low for ball one. Oliveira at second, Jones at first. Highlanders leading 2-1, one away here, bottom of the fourth. As that one is outside for ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count to O'Sullivan. Marshall from the stretch, he'll kick and deliver, and that one's high and inside. O'Sullivan had to go to the dirt to get out of the way of it, and that fills up the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch here with 2 runners on. Oliveira got a head start, and a balk is called. Marshall started to go home, and Oliveira caused the balk there. So now 2 runners in scoring position for O'Sullivan. Crimson Tide bringing the infield in again, trying to deny the run. 1 away here. Double play is out of play in terms of a traditional version, and here is the full count offering from Marshall. That one's up high. That'll load the bases. Marshall got out to a 0-2 lead, or 0-2 count, I should say, lead in the count, and lost O'Sullivan, so that'll bring up Jared Antonelli with the bases juiced. Antonelli struck out to end the second inning. Highlanders leading by 1, 2-1, but a good opportunity here to break it open as Antonelli out ahead of that curveball for strike 1. Oh, 0-1 delivery is down low for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the count to Antonelli. Antonelli 0 for 1 on the day. Bases loaded, filled with Highlanders. Good opportunity here, as that one's going to catch the outside corner for strike 1, or strike 2, I should say. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Antonelli. One away here, bottom of the fourth. Bases are filled with Highlanders. That one's high and outside for ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Antonelli. Oliveira is at third. Clark, or Jones I should say, is at second. O'Sullivan at first. Clark is actually in the on-deck circle. And that one's just barely tipped by Antonelli. So he was out ahead of it. Staying alive though. And check in on the catcher on that one is Longmore. On that slight foul tip. Got in on him a little bit. Longmore seems fine. So Antonelli will step back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count. As my grandmother used to say, being from the South, Marshall has to tuck that shirt into his britches. And he is now done tucking that shirt into his britches. 2-2 delivery here from Marshall. As that one's up high, fouled off out of play. Antonelli staying alive. Bases are filled with Highlanders. They already have 1 across on an RBI by Jones. They lead 2-1. Antonelli out ahead of that one as the changeup was up high. Kept his bat in the zone long enough, though, to get some contact. So 3 straight foul balls. Count remains 2-2. 1 away here, bottom of the fourth. Highlanders leading 2-1, but can break it open as the bases are loaded for Antonelli. As that one's down in the dirt on the fastball. Kept hold of it too long. 3 balls, 2 strikes now the count. Full count. Nowhere to put Antonelli, 1 away. Marshall delivers, and that one will hit Antonelli in the leg. So on the hit by pitch, Antonelli gets the RBI. Oliveira comes in to score from third, and everybody moves up a bag. So Jared Antonelli getting the RBI there for the Highlanders. They move ahead 3-1 as we have a meeting on the mound. Looks like we're going to have a change here. As Velasco will come in to pitch. Kevin Clark will be the first batter that Velasco faces. As the lefty Marshall, he will move now. Let's see where Marshall is moving. Marshall is moving over towards third base, I believe, and that's where Velasco is coming from. Velasco being brought into a difficult situation. Bases loaded with Highlanders. Already 2 runs across. Only 1 out here. Bottom half of the 4th inning. Top of the 4th, the Crimson Tide were able to force a run across to make it 1-1. But the Highlanders have come back strongly here in the bottom of the 4th to answer back with 2 runs of their own. They have the bases loaded with only 1 away as the bottom portion of the lineup, number 8 and 9 hitters coming up here. So the pitching change has been made. Three Highlanders currently on base belong to Marshall. So we can't close the book on him yet. as Velasco takes over on the mound. Marshall pitched very well in the second inning, specifically in the third inning. He struck out the side in the second inning and struck out the leadout man in the fourth inning, but really struggled with control here in this fourth inning. So Velasco now in, facing off against Kevin Clark. Clark struck out swinging, or struck out looking, I should say, to lead off the third inning as he swings and misses at the first, or swings and fouls off the first, I should say. Clark, the third baseman for the Highlanders. Good opportunity here. The bases are full. That fastball is swung on and missed for strike two. No balls and 2 strikes now the count. Velasco seems to have a little bit more velocity than Marshall had. We'll see if he's as deceptive with his change of speed. As that one is a grounder fielded by the shortstop Gibbs. He fires it home, but it's not fielded cleanly there as Gibbs tried to take out the lead runner. And instead, Jones is able to score as the catcher Longmore could not corral that. So on the fielder's choice, bases remain loaded. Or actually, we'll call it a fielder's choice. I don't know what the official scoring on that would be. I guess a single or an E, but I hate giving out errors. Tejada now with the bases loaded. Highlanders leading 4-1 now. After getting 3 runs across, only 1 away still here. Tejada fouled that one off for strike 1. And Velasco's offering is outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count to Tejada. Tejada grounded out to the shortstop Gibbs his last time up. As that one's down the third base line, fielded over there, fired towards home for the out, as that was Marshall taking care of it. So Tejada will be on the fielder's choice. Everybody moves up a base, but they did get the out at home. Two away now for the Highlanders as the top of the lineup comes up. O'Donovan. Highlanders on the verge of batting around here. As Anel led off this inning, he is in the on-deck circle. And that's a high chopper towards second, fielded cleanly there, fired over to first, and that will do it on the 4-3 putout. But the Highlanders able to get 3 across in the bottom of the fourth inning, making it a 4-1 lead as we move towards the top of the fifth inning. We go to the top half of the fifth inning. Highlanders leading this one 4-1. We can close the book on Marshall, the starter for the Crimson Tide. He went 3 1/3 innings, 4 runs on 3 hits, 2 walks, 1 hit by pitch, and 4 strikeouts. And we have a pinch hitter in for Everett as Velasquez coming in to pinch hit for the number 8 hitter, Aya. Velasquez swings and misses at the first. Fouled off for strike 2. O'Sullivan still on the mound for the Highlanders. And swing and miss there for Velasquez. Thrown down to first, and they will get him. So Velasquez strikes out swinging. Sixth strikeout of the day for O'Sullivan. And now we have at the plate is Marshall. He was the starting pitcher for the Crimson Tide today, shifted over to third base. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. That up high, ball 2. Marshall struck out looking back in the 3rd inning, as that one's down low, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes, now the count to Marshall. As that one's up high, Marshall, 4 straight balls, he'll take the walk. That'll bring up Longmore. Longmore 0 for 1 on the day. He was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. Grounded out to shortstop back in the 1st. Swings and misses at the high cheese there for strike 1. 1 away here, top half of the 5th inning. Highlanders leading 4-1. Runner on first is Marshall. As Marshall is running, throw down to second, not in time as Marshall gets the stolen base. So now Marshall in scoring position. That was a ball, by the way, to Longmore, so 1 ball, 1 strike is the count now. O'Sullivan checks the runner, fires home, fouled back. Strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. One, 2 offering is up high from O'Sullivan. That's ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. 1 away here, bottom half of the 5th. Highlanders leading 4-1. Marshall is at second for the Crimson Tide. Longmore, their leadoff batter, up to the plate. Swings and fouls that one back. Fires towards second, keeping Marshall close. He's back easily. Two-two delivery here from O'Sullivan, up high for ball 3. So a full count right now to the Everett leadoff man, Longmore. Marshall is at second. 1 away here, bottom half, or top half, I should say, of the 5th. Swing and a miss there at the high cheese as O'Sullivan gets Longmore. 2 away here as Turilli now will come up. Turilli 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out back in the 1st, grounded out to shortstop in the 3rd. That was a fastball inside. Turilli was hit by it. So on the hit by pitch, he will be on first. Second hit batsman of the day for O'Sullivan. Neither of them have been really hit hard. Both of them just grazing. Brandon Gibbs now up. Gibbs has the only run of the day for the Crimson Tide. He singled back in the 4th as it was a hot shot to third base. He was able to make it to first. On the infield single, he stole second and then came around to score on an RBI fielder's choice by Guzman. He did strike out back in the 1st inning as well. Highlanders leading here 4-1, 2 away, top half of the 5th inning. Everett has runners on first and second. That's a high chopper fielded by Kevin Clark. He'll fire it across the diamond, pulls the first baseman Jones off the bag though, and Gibbs is safe at first. So that's going to load up the bases. And that will bring up Laurie. Laurie walked back in the 4th inning, grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd. That one's up high for O'Sullivan for ball 1. Crimson Tide building a bit of a dangerous situation here as they have the bases loaded, trailing by 3. Cleanup man Laurie at the plate. 2 away for the Highlanders as we're going to have a conversation between Annell and O'Sullivan. Bases filled with members of Everett. And that's a swing and a miss by Laurie on the fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. 2 away here, top of the 5th. Highlanders leading by 3. Crimson Tide have the bases juiced. O'Sullivan's fastball is up high for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. Fired back into the screen for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count. Everett has the bases loaded. They trail by 3. Brendan Laurie, their cleanup man, is up. 2 away here. 2-2 is the count. O'Sullivan fires that one in and he hits Laurie. Another hit batsman there. That's the 2nd of the inning, 3rd of the day for O'Sullivan. And a run will come across to score as Marshall will come in. So Guzman will be coming up for the Crimson Tide as O'Donnell out talking to O'Sullivan right now. Bases remain loaded. It is a 2-run game, 4-2. O'Donnell leaving O'Sullivan out there. O'Sullivan's been struggling with his control here these past 2 innings. He's got 3 hit batsmen on the day. 2 of those have come this inning. He's also got 3 walks over the past 2 innings as well. Up to bat is Guzman. And that one's hit into left field and hit well. That's going to get the bases cleared, it looks like, as Laurie comes around to score. No, he will not. He turns and is sent back to 3rd. He makes it back there easily, though. So Guzman, with a line shot into left field, scores 2, ties this game up 4-4. Big double there for Guzman. That brings up Brian Gibbs. O'Sullivan's first offering outside, ball 1. So we have a tie ball game here, 4-4. As Sterilli and Marshall and Gibbs came around to score here in this inning, Laurie is at 3rd base. First base is Guzman, or second base I should say is Guzman. Out the power of that 2 RBI double. That was a strike in there for O'Sullivan. Two outs here. That was a strike as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count to Gibbs. That was outside, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. First base open right now. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. The go-ahead run on 3rd for Everett. And this one's a chopper foul down the first base line. we will do it again. 4-4 is your score. Go ahead runs at third. Runner is on second as well. Pitch is in there, called, strike 3. As Gibbs, frozen pizza at the plate, and that will do it, but not before the Crimson Tide able to force 3 runs of their own across to answer back the 3 the Highlanders got in the bottom of the 4th. We'll move to the bottom of the 5th. It is 4-4 as the Highlanders will have their numbers 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Highlanders tied now 5-5, or 4-4 I should say. And now leading off, and that one's down the third base line fair. It's going to be extra bases as he rounds first base, heading towards second. He's in there with a stand-up double, is Anel, as he fired that one down the third base line. So the Highlanders get things going real quick here in the bottom of the 5th. After the Crimson Tide put 3 across in the top of the 5th, the Highlanders threatening here as Ian Bourne comes up. Bourne 2 for 2 today, or I'm sorry, 1 for 2 today. Oh, actually 2 for 2, and he put a charge into that one. He's going shopping at the gap as he puts that one behind the scoreboard. Second time today that Bourne has gone behind the board. Anel comes around to score. Ian Bourne picks up, hit another RBI. That's 2 RBIs for Ian today. Highlanders take the 5-4 lead, and Oliveira is up to the plate. Oliveira 0 for 1 on the day, lined out in the first, walked last inning, came around to score. First pitch is up high for ball 1. Velasco on the mound came in with the bases loaded last inning. Oliveira out ahead of that one for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count. The Highlanders have retaken the lead 5-4 here in the bottom half of the 5th inning as Ian Bourne picks up his second RBI of the day. An RBI triple. He has a single, a double, and a triple on the day, does Bourne, as he is stealing third, but got a heck of a jump there. But Oliveira wired that ball right down foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count. One-two offering to Oliveira, and then he swings and misses for strike 3. So we'll bring up Jones. Jones is 1 for 2 on the day. Struck out back in the second, got an RBI single in the 4th. It's a ground ball towards short through the hole. Little seeing eye single there, got by Gibbs. They fire it back in. So Jones gets his second hit of the day with that single. Bourne moves on towards third base. Runners on the corners now with 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Highlanders have put 1 across to retake the lead 5-4. O'Sullivan, the Highlander pitcher, at the plate looking to help his own cause. First pitch, strike 1 on the outside corner from Velasco. Velasco in relief, I should say. That pitch is up high, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, now the count to O'Sullivan. And swing and a miss there. It's taking second base is Jones on the stolen base. We'll give him the stolen base. No catcher's indifference. Especially not in this situation. As O'Sullivan will foul that one back. Staying alive there. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. Highlanders lead by 1 as they retook the lead here on an RBI double by Ian Bourne. Runners on the corners as the changeup just outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count. O'Sullivan is 0 for 1 on the day. He walked. He put a charge into that one right up the middle, though. That'll score Bourne from third as O'Sullivan helps his cause with an RBI single. Highlanders lead now 6-4. Jones advanced to third on that one. Bourne came in to score. And Antonelli comes to the plate. Antonelli was hit by a pitch back in the 4th and struck out in the 2nd. He is 0 for 1 on the day. Does have an RBI because he was hit by the pitch with the bases loaded, as that's a high chopper, not fielded cleanly. As charging on that one was Guzman, the third baseman. So Antonelli is on. O'Sullivan moves up. Jones stayed at third as the play was right in front of him. That brings up Kevin Clark. Velasco's first pitch, strike 1. Kevin Clark was at the plate when Velasco was brought in. Clark is 0 for 2 on the day. That one's high and away for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. That one's in there for strike 2. Just caught the lower part of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count to Kevin Clark. One away here. Bases filled with Highlanders as Clark stays alive, fouling that one off. Highlanders have already put 2 across here to make it a 6-4 game.
I didn't see your son until like 2 minutes ago. I got here like
1 and 2 is the count as Velasco will kick and deliver, and that one's up high for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count to Clark. That one just outside, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, bases filled with Highlanders, nowhere to put Clark. 1 away here. In the bottom of the 5th, Highlanders with 2 across already. Here's the payoff pitch. Clark skies this one. And I don't know, there he is. Gibbs coming in, flying in from a center field position, and he makes the catch and keeps the runner at third. So Gibbs, Brandon Gibbs coming in and making that play from his center field position. And that'll bring up Tejada, the number 9 hitter for the Highlanders. We're gonna have a conversation at the mound. Tejada on the day, 0 for 1. Grounded out to shortstop in the 3rd. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Conversation done now with young Mr. Velasco. Give the situation right here. Highlanders have the bases loaded. They've already got 2 across in this inning. They lead 6-4. Tejada, the number 9 hitter, is up. And Velasco's first offering to him is up high for ball 1. As ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, the count to Tejada. That's outside as well. Ball 3, nowhere to put Tejada, as the bases are filled with the Highlanders.
That's not good.
3-0 delivery up high for ball 4, and that'll get another run in, as Jones will come in to score on the walk. Everybody move up. So Tejada getting an RBI there, and we go around to the top of the Highlander order, as O'Donovan will come up. O'Donovan 0 for 3 on the day. He's grounded out twice to the second baseman, and he popped out to the second baseman. That's outside, I believe, for ball 1. My vision was blocked. Down low, ball 2. Highlanders leading now by the score of 7-4. 3-run lead for the Highlanders. They got 3 on the base paths, as that one's in there for the strike. O'Donovan the full take on that. 2-1 now the count. That one's up high for ball 3. Nowhere to put O'Donovan. Already walked in 1 run, and he'll walk in another one there, as O'Donovan taking on that all the way, and he'll get the RBI as everybody moves up. So Anel, who led off this inning with a double, is back up. Anel roped a line shot down the left field line for a double, and we're going to make another pitching change, as Gibbs is going to come into this game. Gibbs, from his shortstop position, I believe, will be stepping into the mound. Velasco leaves with the bases loaded. So we'll get Velasco's numbers in a little bit as Gibbs works out. Yeah, Brian Gibbs is going to become the pitcher. Gibbs walking into a situation here in relief, as there are already 4 runs across in this inning. Highlanders now leading 8-4. Came into this inning, we've had quite a bit of scoring suddenly, as in the top of the 4th, the Crimson Tide were able to tie it up 1-1 way back when. Then in the bottom of the 4th, the Highlanders stuck 3 across, as they retook the lead 4-1. Then the top of the 5th, the Crimson Tide answered back with 3 runs of their own to make it 4-4, coming here to the bottom of the 5th, and then the Highlanders have struck for 4 more. So 8-4 is your score, and they have batted around, as Anel coming up for the 2nd time this inning. Anel started this inning off with a double down the line, and the Highlanders have not looked back since. Gibbs walking into a situation with the bases loaded, 2 away. And the number 2 hitter, Anel, coming up. Anel on the day, 2 for 2, a single and a double. He singled back in the 1st. He doubled earlier this inning. He also has a walk in the 4th.
Pick whatever you want.
First offering from Gibbs down low for ball 1.
Go 3-0.
one's up high for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. That one's up high, swung on though. The high cheese from Gibbs as Anel swings through it. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. 2 away here, bottom half of the 5th. Highlanders leading 8-4 as that one will drop in for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count now to Anel. Gibbs looking to get out of this inning. First batter he has faced is Anel here with the bases loaded. As he pops that one down the line, foul, out of play. 2-2 remains the count. Gibbs puts this one up, it's popped up. Laurie has some room for it. He comes over and makes the play. A nice play there by Brendan Laurie as he is able to get that one. And that will do it for the Highlanders here in the bottom of the 5th, but not before they were able to get 4 runs across to take the lead 8-4. So the Highlanders leading here 8-4, moving to the top half of the 6th inning where they will be met with the, let's see here, 8, 9, and 10 batter, or 8, 9, and 1 batters, I should say, for the Crimson Tide. We have a pitching change for the Highlanders as Ian Bourne has come in to pitch for the Highlanders. That will close the book on O'Sullivan as he went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs in 5 innings. Let's see here, on 2 hits, 4 walks, 3 hit by pitch, and 8 strikeouts for O'Sullivan as we close the book on him. Ian Bourne now is on. He's facing off against Velasco, who came in relief for the Crimson Tide. His first pitch was fouled off for strike 1. Ian Bourne, a lanky lefty out there. That one's up high. Ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike, now the count to Velasco. Bourne, the offensive star so far today for the Highlanders, as he's 3 for 3 at the plate with a single, double, and triple. 2 RBIs as well for Bourne. That is a pop-up fielded at second base by McDonald. That is the other substitution I forgot to note, is McDonald is in at second base for the Highlanders, as Velasco was so kind to pop it right to him so I could remember to say that. And McDonald, of course, fielded it clearly, I should say. Now Saaya back in. The right fielder. He was pinch hit for last time by Velasquez. Of course, in high school ball, you can come back in. That's in there for strike. 1-1 the count. Ian Bourne looking nice out there on the mound for the Highlanders, showing he is an Ian of all trades. That one's in the dirt for the ball. 1 away here now. The Highlanders leading 8-4 as they put 4 across, I should say, in the bottom of the 5th after the Crimson Tide had tied it up. That one's fouled back. Strike 2. So Saaya on the day, 0 for 1. He struck out back in the 3rd inning. This one's fouled down the first baseline. Count remains Ian Bourne looking in for his sign, trying to do his best Todd Helton of college days imitation. being an offensive as well as pitching star. That one's fouled off. He's got the offensive part down, no question about it today. 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs. He's looking pretty good out there on the mound, too. That one's in the dirt. One away here, top half of the 6th inning. Highlanders leading by 4, 8-4. That one's in there, cold, strike 3. There's some nasty filth on the outside corner there from Ian Bourne as he gets his first strikeout of the day. O'Sullivan did really well starting for the Highlanders, going those 5 innings, getting 8 strikeouts. Struggled with his control over those last 2 innings. Got some walks and some hit batsmen there. But an excellent job as we close the book on him. Ian Bourne's first offering here to Marshall is in for called strike 1. Marshall was the starting pitcher for the Crimson Tide. He'll pop this one foul. 0-2 now the count. 2 away here, top half of the 6th inning. Ian Bourne looking very comfortable out there on the mound as he's come on in relief of O'Sullivan in this inning. Hit this one up high into left field, settling underneath it, and the play is made out there by Jared Antonelli. And that will do it for the Crimson Tide. 1-2-3 inning. And we will move to the bottom half of the 6th inning with the Highlanders leading 8-4. We are beginning the bottom of the 6th inning. Highlanders leading 8-4 as Ian Bourne, the offensive star so far for the Highlanders, settles in to face off against Brian Gibbs. Ball 1 right there. Gibbs' first delivery was up high. Bourne 3 for 3 on the day with 2 RBIs as the strike catches the outside corner there. Bourne had a single, an RBI single back in the first. He had a double, or a triple I should say, in the 4th and a double back in the 5th. Ball 2 comes in, bouncing in. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count to Bourne. So obviously Ian a home run away from the cycle at this point in time. But here at Trum Field, it's very difficult to get one over the fence, I will say. Bourne, nice shot there out into left field. He just continues to rake as he gets that single out there. So Ian Bourne, who right now is also on the mound for the Highlanders as he came on in relief in the top of the 6th, continues his hot hitting day, going 4 for 4, his second single of the day. That'll bring up Christian Oliveira. Oliveira 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out swinging back in the 5th, walked and scored in the 4th, and lined out to short. He rakes this one down the left field line, but it will be just foul. Bourne was away with the pitch, but he'll have to head on back towards first. I mentioned Ian Bourne doing his best Todd Helton imitation. I went to school at University of Tennessee. Everybody out there obviously knows Todd Helton, the Hall of Fame baseball offensive power that he was. But at Tennessee, he also was a heck of a pitcher. Currently still holds the NCAA record for consecutive scoreless innings with 44, as that one caught the outside corner. So Ian Bourne 4 for 4 on the day at the plate as he is away looking to steal a bag to add to his count, and he does, as that was in the dirt from Gibbs. Good pitch for him to steal on. So Ian just keeping on filling up the stat sheet. Oliveira looking at a full count here. Nobody out. Bottom of the 6th. Highlanders leading by 4. Gibbs is up high. Oh, I thought that was a full count. Now it's a full count.
There we go, mate. Let's go, Captain Crunch. There we go, see? Good eye.
As Bourne will go to third on that one in the dirt. So Bourne now at third base. Counts full. Nobody away for the Highlanders, leading by 4, 8-4. That one's inside. Christian will walk. That'll bring up Jones. Jones is 2 for 3 on the day. He has an RBI as well as 2 runs scored. He struck out back in the second. Got an RBI single in the fourth. As Oliveira trying to steal second, he will get himself caught up there, seeing if Bourne can score from third. Here's the play at the plate, and they get Bourne as he tries to steal from third. Oliveira will land at second base as he tried to get himself caught up into the pickle there to score Bourne. We saw a less traditional version of that earlier in Major League Baseball, as the Cubs were able to score a run from third on a what should have been an out. So Jones now ground ball towards short, and Oliveira gets caught off of second. Great job there by the Crimson Tide as they get out of the inning. Guzman fields it from the shortstop position. Oliveira making the base running error. He's tagged out, and Jones is thrown out. So on that play, it looks like a 6-3 double play as Oliveira was doubled off of second. And that is a 1-2-3 inning with only one of those outs being traditional. That will do it in the bottom of the 6th inning. We move to the top of the 7th as the Highlanders lead in this one 8-4. All right, here we are in the top half of the 7th inning as Velasco will lead off. Actually, that is not Velasco. We have another substitution. Give me a moment and I'll find out who that is who's batting. That is Longmore batting. There we go, leading off. Longmore, the catcher for Everett. That one's up high and outside. Ian Bourne still on the mound for the Highlanders. So he came in to start out the inning, last inning. 2 balls and 1 strike is the count. Bourne got a 1-2-3 inning last inning. That is a line shot out into left field. Antonelli fields it out there, but a single for Longmore. So he put a charge into that one. Leadoff man on for the Crimson Tide here in the top of the 7th. So they need to get something going, trailing by 4 runs, 8-4. Torelli comes up. Torelli has a run scored. He came around to score in the 5th after being hit by a pitch. He is 0 for 2 on the day, striking out and grounding out to short as that pitch gets past and actually hit him, it appears. Hit him in the foot. So Torelli was hit in the foot. Longmore moves to second, Torelli at first. Brings up Brandon Gibbs. Bourne struggling a little bit here after a 1-2-3 inning, his first inning of work. There's Torelli. Checking to make sure that foot's feeling all right. He seems okay with it. So Brandon Gibbs, who is now currently pitching for the Crimson Tide, is up to bat. Nobody away here. Runners on first and second. Bourne's first delivery to Gibbs is up high for ball 1. That's in there for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the count to Gibbs. Bourne came on last inning in the top of the 6th. Got a pop out from Velasco. Called strikeout I should say, and a short fly out to left. As this one is in the dirt, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now the count to Gibbs. Crimson Tide have runners on first and second. As Longmore started off with a single into left. Torelli was hit by a pitch. Nobody out here. Bottom, or top, I should say, of the 7th. And Gibbs put a charge into that one into center field. Going back, looking for the play. Can't make it is Tejada. They are running around the base paths. As 1 run will be in. Torelli settles in at third base. Gibbs is into second with the RBI double, and it is an 8-5 game with nobody away here in the top of the 7th inning. Crimson Tide making some noise. Brings up Brendan Laurie. Laurie is 0 for 1 on the day as he grounded out to third in the 2nd. He walked and was out at second base in the 4th as he swings and misses. First delivery from Bourne. And he was hit by a pitch. Got an RBI for being hit by a pitch with the bases loaded back in the 5th. Bourne's second delivery to Laurie is up high for ball 1. Crimson Tide now with runners on second and third. They've gotten 1 across here to make it a 3-run game. 8-5 is your score. Nobody away. As that one's down low. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. Bourne, the long, lanky lefty on the mound for the Highlanders, is starred with the bat so far today. Came on in relief last inning as Laurie hits this one, fielded nicely at first base as Jones makes the play. Deceptive as it had a lot of spin on it, but Jones just settles, no issues whatsoever, able to make the play. So that's 1 away here in the top of the 7th inning. Tying run is at the plate in the form of Guzman. Guzman had a 2 RBI double back in the 5th inning. He's got 3 RBIs on the day. Swing and a miss there. Runners on second and third. Highlanders leading by 3. It's Guzman, who has 3 of the Crimson Tide RBIs today, swings and misses at one in the dirt. One out, top half of the 7th inning. (0-2) delivery here by Ian Bourne. And staying alive is Guzman. Guzman's been moved around a little bit. He started the game in left field. He's playing third base as well. I think he shifted back to left field, though, when Velasco went back to third after pitching an inning. And that one gets past and now, but nobody moves. Two and 2 is the count. 1 away, top half of the 7th. Highlanders leading by 3. This one swung on and missed. Strike 3 for Guzman there. So he goes down swinging. Second strikeout of the day for Ian Bourne, and that'll bring up Brian Gibbs. Gibbs 0 for 1 on the day, struck out looking in the 5th, walked in the 4th, and sacrificed bunt in the 2nd. So that one catches the outside corner for strike 1. Curveball in the dirt, misses, ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike now the count to Gibbs. 2 away, top half of the 7th inning. Highlanders leading by 3, 8-5. Crimson Tide knocking on the door. They've got runners on 2nd and 3rd. Brian Gibbs has a 1-1 count. This one catches the outside corner for strike 2. Ian Bourne on the mound for the Highlanders. Came in last inning for a 1-2-3 inning. Struggled a bit with the control this inning. Looking to settle down here. Hold on to this 3-run lead. As he fires the fastball outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count.
The
2-2 delivery from Gibbs, or to Gibbs, I should say. Fouled down the first base side. Count stays 2-2. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Highlanders leading by 3. Tying run at the plate, though, for Everett as they have runners on 2nd and 3rd. As this one's chopper right out in front of home plate, but it rolls foul right before Anel was able to grab it. That was dangerous because Brian Gibbs, he's got some speed. He'll head on back to the batter's box. We'll just do the 2-2 again. Runner at 3rd is Turilli. Runner at 2nd is Brandon Gibbs. Lots of speed on the base paths for the Crimson Tide. As this one catches the outside corner, called strike 3. That will do it for the Crimson Tide as they get 1 run across on that RBI double by Gibbs, but that will keep the score at 8-5, and that will do it as the Highlanders get the big win here after Ian Bourne able to come in, get the save there. The win goes to O'Sullivan after 5 innings of work. He went 5 innings, allowed 4 runs on 2 hits, 4 walks, 3 hit by pitch, and 8 strikeouts. A great job for him. We closed the book on Ian Bourne as he allowed 1 run on 1 hit. He struck out 3 in his 2 innings of work, and that is a 8-5 victory for the Somerville Highlanders over the Everett Crimson Tide. A really good job by the Highlanders today as O'Sullivan comes away with the victory. Offensive MVP, of course, will be Ian Bourne as he went 4 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And basically a home run short of the cycle. So a great day and a save as well for Ian, I have to say. So a great win here for the Highlanders as they move their record on the season to 3 wins and 2 losses. Everett will move to 0-3 on the season, and that will open up our baseball season here on Ed TV. But it won't close it. We're going to have some more coverage throughout the season. Look forward to seeing you as the Greater Boston League makes their baseball return here in 2021. It's very, very exciting, and we are very excited about it. That's going to do it for us today as I'm Todd Harmon here from Trum Field. It's been great doing this with you, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Ed TV.